Today on the Tech Ed Clubhouse podcast, I have Katharina and Ksenia from Fobizz.com, a great AI company out of somewhere in Germany. You ladies want to give me an introduction and tell me a little bit about what your role is and how you got involved.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having us here. It's very exciting. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. So yeah, my name is Katharina, and I was born and raised in Germany, and also worked there as a teacher for a couple of years, and then moved around the world, worked as a teacher for a bit in the UAE, moved to South Korea, and then slowly started transitioning more into the content side of things. And now I'm with Fobizz as content director, working mostly on creating professional development courses together with experts, and also some content creation and trying to figure out the best way to support teachers with the help of AI.
And I'm Ksenia. I was actually raised in the United States and spent most of my life there, but I've been working in Germany for about 11 years now. And though I did not spend most of my life in education, I was so inspired by Fobizz's mission that when the CEO of Fobizz told me about her plans of bringing Fobizz, a German-based platform, internationally, especially in English, into English-speaking countries, I was really excited to join her on this mission.
I didn't realize that Fobizz was a woman-owned business.
It
Um,
is the
yeah,
CEO, and so originally there were four founders, and two of them were women, and currently the CEO is a female.
that's outstanding. So where did Fobizz come from? What is its origin?
So the name itself, it's a bit of a shortening play on words for Fortbildungen, which means in German continuous education courses. And originally, that's exactly where Fobizz started. Fobizz started out by bringing digital asynchronous courses for educators in Germany, and started a little bit before COVID in the second half of 2018, where there were actually free courses for educators to attend, organized by the state, but a lot of the educators were frustrated that they weren't getting the skills necessary for a modern day classroom. So Fobizz entered the space, focusing on digital education, and it kind of grew from there. I mean, at this point, it's not just digital education, it's everything under the sun related to education. The German language catalog has over 300 courses, but we've expanded from courses alone because during COVID, it was a bit of a free-for-all. It was all about getting through the year, survival. You could use any tools that you wanted. And it seemed like everyone kind of closed their eyes on it a bit as to what you were using, how you were using. People were just literally trying to get through the school year, the calendar year, etc. Then when things started to settle down, schools opened up again. German schools said, hey guys, it's been a rough X number of months, but now we really need to remember we need to be GDPR compliant, and most of the things that you've been using are not. So at that point, the teachers came to Fobizz and said, hey guys, cool that you taught us all these digital skills, really great, but we have to go to 10 different websites to do 5 different things, and also not all of them are GDPR compliant. Wouldn't it be great if there was one place where we could go for all of this? So Fobizz said, okay, well, no problem. Here's a suite of digital tools that will help you out. They won't do everything 100%, but it will take care of 90% of your daily needs. So teachers were really excited about this because they already knew Fobizz, they trusted Fobizz from the courses, and then here they had a whole suite of tools that they could use for their daily work. Then November 2022 rolls around, ChatGPT explodes on the scene and literally changes everything overnight. The Fobizz management recognized it very quickly, put out the first course, and started integrating AI into various digital tools. And that's kind of what brings us to the current offering, which has a huge focus on AI. But as you can tell, Fobizz was around long before Gen AI really made its big splash.
Katerina, anything to add to that? That was pretty robust.
I must say so too. Yeah, you covered the entire story of Fobizz. I think the only thing I want to add that I found very exciting is that Fobizz managed, starting in Germany, Germany is not generally known for being super in the forefront of technology, and embracing everything that's new. And Phobis, because it was already so well known and trusted, as Ksenia said, really managed to give educators the confidence to experiment with this new thing and embrace it. And I think that's really quite an amazing feat, to not just see it as something very scary, but saying, okay, I'm getting the step-by-step guide here to start learning about it, and it's not too overwhelming, and I can do this. I trust myself to do this. So I think that's what I really appreciate about the story of Phobos as well.
Awesome. And you mentioned something about, I believe you said GPDR compliant. Now, I believe that is your privacy, the European version of what the United States has as FERPA, and COPA and all the student privacy. So, what does that kind of look like in the European community?
It actually goes one step beyond FERPA because it's not just about student data, it's about everybody's data. And it's not just for education, it's literally for anything. In my past life, I worked in finance, and there it's the same thing. So everybody is sanctioned by this GDPR, and it is a data protection law, and it is about certain data, where it can be stored, who it can be shared with, what data is collected, and also your consent for what information you get from a company. You don't get unsolicited mailings. You always have to opt into things. So there are a whole slew of things that are covered by GDPR. But basically, if you're not GDPR compliant, you don't enter a German classroom. If the data is stored outside of EU, you don't enter a German classroom. And that, unfortunately, or fortunately, but it puts a lot of big players a little bit out of the mark, because a lot of the data is stored elsewhere. And kind of, I guess, in a way, creates opportunities for those who are willing to play ball and be GDPR compliant.
So if excuse me, if my listeners are gonna, hit up Fobizz.com and look at some of your asynchronous courses and some of your AI tools, we don't have to worry too much about privacy and stuff getting out there because you house it on your own, correct?
Well, there's general data when you
Sure.
log in, and it is stored in a very secure manner. Student data is something we don't touch. The students, when they access our solution, it's through a code on a URL. And so the teacher knows which code belongs to whom, but that's it. We don't know anything. We don't collect any student data. We don't want to collect student data. That's not our thing. But what I think makes us unique is how we handle security around AI, because that is something that raises a lot of concerns. And what we do there, and this is, outside beyond the GDPR compliance, we take it a few steps further. First of all, any data that's transmitted to OpenAI and other AI providers is anonymized. It's coming from Fobizz, and that is it. You as a teacher are known, the school is unknown, the city is unknown, the country is unknown. They just see that the prompt is coming from Fobizz. The second piece of that is that the data is not used for model training. So you're not putting things out there that are going to live there forever and train future models. We're not going to have an issue like the issue that we all saw on LinkedIn about the teacher who put in the student's first name, and ChatGPT completed the last name, and it wasn't a common enough name to where this should have happened. So something like that is not going to happen with users of the system through Fobizz, because, again, it's not used for model training. So especially if your students, despite all our warnings and all our pop-ups that tell them that, hey, this looks like personal information, because we do try to stop you in case, anything looks like personal data. But in case they still get through all of these things, get through all these warnings and enter personal data, we still make sure that they're protected in the back, and the data is not used for model training. So I think that makes us a little bit unique.
Yeah, that's some things that especially here in New York State, where we have an additional ed law compliance, ed law 2D compliance, where it kind of goes above and beyond the FERPA, the COPA, and that's always, any of the AI companies and ed tech tools that I've spoken to over the years. That's always, excuse me, that always seems to be a little bit of a stumbling block, and it sounds like you guys are being proactive in that regard. So it's something that's, not without checking with your administration, but something that's fairly secure for an American teacher to use in that regard. Katerina, anything? I don't know how up on security measures you are. I know I'm. There's always something more you got to learn.
Yeah, for
That,
sure. And I also like that we keep up with, I mean, the additional aspects of it, because it's not just okay, you can use these tools, but you also want to know what is safe for me to upload, for example. How does this work with content that was created by others, copyright protection, and all these different aspects that also included. So we try to also have professional development courses on the platform that will go beyond just the basics. Okay, don't share data. You got to protect your data because this is very important. But then what are the next steps? What about cybersecurity for your school, maybe? What about can I just, take my school book and upload all these pages and then turn those into whatever worksheets I like and then distribute that? So we try to get experts to also advise educators so everyone feels safe and we all do what we do consciously and knowingly rather than just doing what seems easiest. And that's why I also think the approach of Phobis, which is more holistic, combining the professional development with the tools, is extremely helpful in also taking away the fears and giving people the security to use these tools. Because if you just throw a bunch of tools at people and say, "Good luck with that. This will
right.
help you teach more effectively," that is great. But if you don't know anything about this, if you've never used these, you need some sort of tutorial at least that guides you and get some examples and ideas. So that's really what we try to bring together, the tools with additional professional development courses that train you specifically for these tools. And then on top of that, even teaching materials that also go along with that. So it's really trying to do this holistically as a package.
Speaking of the holistically as a package, that's a great segue. I love that. That sounds awesome. So you guys said that Phobis started as kind of a asynchronous professional development platform. What are some of the offerings on that platform? What do you offer to educators worldwide now? And what seems, if you can tell me, what is the popular ones? I mean, outside of obviously AI.
Yeah, I guess AI is the obvious one. I think
Right.
the way it started, and which is still the popular topics, is one thing, adapting to technology and just keeping up with changes and developments. Where, as I just mentioned, we do have all these courses and digital tools to help educators. Then I think the next point is definitely diverse learners' needs and having resources and training on that topic as well. And then the rest, I guess, would be more on the workload, time management. What do I want to prioritize? How to get my students engaged? Those kind of topics. So I think the most popular tools that we have, I mean, for once, is just the chat with AI, where we offer different language models. So you can choose if you want to talk to ChatGPT or Claude or Mistral. You have a bunch of different language models that you can choose from. And people like go using that. So I think that would be the number one because obviously it's the most versatile. And then the other one that's really popular is the worksheet creator, because you can just put in your topic. You can enter objectives, but you can also use AI to help you generate those and then get ready to go worksheets that you can then share with your students, and you can also get feedback. And we've also been working with our sister company to teach.ai that also has a whole lot of teaching materials and worksheets that you can customize to your topic. So those also have been very, very popular.
Awesome. So you got a lot of good stuff. So it's basic. So you're telling me it's the basic, just the basic kind of, come chat with AI type of things. And you said you offered all the different um LLMs, correct? Like you said, Chat GPT and Claude and all that stuff, which is nice. So you get a lot of different perspectives. Um,
Yeah, it's
that's
also
great.
sometimes fun to just do the same prompt on different language models and see how they differ.
Definitely, because as I use AI all the time. I use my favorite is Chat GPT because I've been using that since like Ksenia said, it came out in November of 22 and all of a sudden it exploded everywhere. And then everybody was an expert within 2 months. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah. Now um that just seems to be my go-to. I like to use a lot of different tools and I'm exploring some more of the tools with Fobizz. I believe Katharina, you reached out to me on LinkedIn and that's how we got connected, I believe. Um,
Yeah.
to do an asynchronous course and it's been so far it's been awesome and I probably wouldn't have found it had you not reached out, but there's some great tools there. um, let's see, where was it going? Um, so the tools you use and you offer, and what I like too with your platform is, and you were saying a lot of the a lot of the conferences you go to, a lot of the stuff you see is, hey, this tool is awesome. Like you talked about your chat with AI thing. Hey, it's awesome. You can do this, right? Um, but what you guys offer that's a little bit different, and you can expand on this a little bit, is that asynchronous PD side. You got the short courses, which are like 20 minutes, and then you have some longer courses. And then could you expand on that a little bit, maybe? And then is there a price structure for some of them? Is there a cost for, because I think the shorts, I don't think there's a cost for the short courses. Maybe some of them, but at least the ones I've seen, I haven't. But yeah, because that's always a big stumbling block for some of my educators, some of my listeners as well.
So actually, the platform, it's all inclusive. So if you are signed up and registered on the platform, you have access to everything. And there is you can have free access. And then if you want unlimited access to things, it becomes premium. Because we've been relatively new to the United States and English-speaking countries in general, so far all the courses have been free, or included in the free account. So you don't need to have the paid version in order to access all the courses. I don't know if that will be the case forever, but that has been the
Sure.
case so far. Just because we want everyone to get to know us, and we think that, especially education on AI, it is so current and relevant. We want to give as many people access to it as possible, which is also why, in addition to the courses that we offer in 3 formats, we run twice a year a 6-week free AI certification training. It's, partially with guided events, but you can also watch recordings if you can't attend live, and asynchronous work and a homework assignment and so on. But it's completely free, and that is something that we've been doing in Germany for several years now. We did our first run with the English language version of the program in the fall, and we'll be kicking off the next one in the spring, March 18th. So it's one of those things where we just believe that AI education is so important. We want to make it as accessible and as available as possible. As far as the format goes, we do have different formats of what you can access on our platform. We have the micro courses, which are about 30 minutes long, and that includes both the course and the exercise that is included for you to practice any concepts. Then the asynchronous courses, they're usually about an hour, but some go up to 3 for sure. And then we have recorded webinars, which are usually about an hour. So if you can't attend a webinar live, 9 times out of 10, the recording will be posted to the course catalog.
And when you do these, like you alluded to there, when you do these asynchronous courses, whether it be the 30-minute, the 1 hour, or a webinar, there's typically a practical application right away with that as part of the certification or the completion.
Yes. Yeah, so we the goal is to make this as relevant as we possibly can and be as hands-on as we possibly can. Because if I watch a video for an hour and it explains interesting concepts to me, but I still don't know what to do with this, I'm probably going to forget about it quite quickly. But if I can watch it piece by piece and then have exercises that match the video that I just did. And I can start using this for my next lesson because I just got great ideas on how to do maybe project-based learning. As you like, I watched your course and I learned about this, and then you give me the step-by-step guide, the tools that I need in order to plan a project for my class. And I do it with my specific school, my curriculum in mind. And then I can just plan this right away as I'm taking this course. So for the shorter ones, we just do the exercise at the end. And with the longer ones, you have maybe 10 minutes of video and then you have a smaller exercise. So it really guides you through this process and you end up by the end of this course with something that you can use in your class, which makes it more memorable and more relevant.
And that really fits with kind of the way I was, what kind of where I was going to go next with some of this stuff. You know, I just got back from a conference, and I brought back a nice cold with me. I was at the FETC conference in Orlando. So for those of you that are interested, we're recording this on January 20th, 2025, and um, one of the conversations I was having with a lot of the people there was the fact that they've got all these great tools and everybody's embedding AI into this. And there's, you got your AI tools, there's Magic School, there's School AI and Chat GPT and Gemini and Copilot and, all these other platforms have their stuff. But what I didn't see so many times was like what you guys do, where there's that practical application. I could go and do your 20-minute, 30-minute course tonight while I'm sitting on my couch watching whatever and probably mindless TV from us Americans. But there's something practical I can use in my classroom tomorrow. And that really aligns with and that's what I like about Fobizz, and it aligns with my philosophy. Because when I do something, I want the teachers to be able to go into this classroom tomorrow and be able to use it. So is that something obviously that you're going to keep going with? And what maybe anything new coming up?
I think that's really at the core principle of what we think of when we design our courses and when we work with authors such as yourself. That like I have these calls with new authors and I talk to them, and that's really the message I try to bring across as clearly and as best as I can. That this has to be as hands-on as possible. Make this relevant. Imagine yourself in taking this course and what can you take away and take into your classroom, maybe not the next day, but the next week. Really have it this something that is helpful. And I think a great example of that is also the course, the new course that we're doing with you right now, that's going to come out soon, where you actually designed an assistant, a GPT, that then educators can use on our platform to plan their for the STEM lessons. And I guess you're the best person to tell us more about that because you created this GPT. I've looked at it and played around with it a bit. And I think it's amazing because it helps you with everything from lesson planning to project planning to the little worksheet that you can then share with your student. And it keeps on asking you if you want more, if you need anything else. And I think that's just such a helpful and very specific use case.
Yeah, so thank you for that. It wasn't all me. There was a couple, I believe it was Sophia and Vivian.
Yeah.
Were the two, it looked like high school seniors to me because, everybody I talk to in these companies, they look so freaking young anymore. I have a daughter that's 26, so I'm assuming these girls they don't look like they're ready to be out of high school yet, and they're doing these amazing things, and they set this up. I've had many calls with you guys, and you guys are phenomenal with the feedback as well. So, if you head to the Fobizz website and there's questions about it, you reach out to any of these people there, and they're very great about getting it back. But kind of getting back to that STEM GPT thing, STEM is such a relatable product that it can fit everywhere, and it needs to fit. It brings in that thought process and that creativity and that critical thinking aspect into anything. So we're trying to. My kind of thought with it is to kind of bring it into a lot of different classrooms. So how could I use it in an English classroom, or in your case, whatever, a German classroom for those of you in Germany, or whatever native language you speak, or a math class or a history class or whatever. But there's lots of applications, and I'm hoping to get, once my voice comes back and I can actually, get a decent recording of something, I will update that and get that back up to you guys. Um, but I was going through your website. Maybe you guys can speak to this a little bit. You got a lot of specialty apps on top of this STEM GPT. You got a lot of specialty um, GPTs and chat bots and characters, in addition to just chat with AI or math related or create a worksheet. What are some of your other specialty chat bots you got on Fobizz?
I think we really cover everything from very broad topics to very niche topics. And in full disclosure, the catalog is slightly different if you toggle the language between German and English, just
Sure.
because we do cooperate on some things with kind of local subject matter experts. And so there are some in the German catalog that are done with professors and teachers here in Germany, which you will not see in the English language catalog and vice versa. But in general, some of the ones that you'll see across both sides are things that are focused on lesson planning. And we're very transparent about this because you can actually dig in and see the prompts that are behind these and the roles and everything that we've kind of put in there for lesson planning. And we have two different ones. The one is for digital lessons, one is just regular lesson planner. The role and instruction behind that GPT, that it's pages and pages long. It's really detailed, it's really comprehensive, and it really goes in depth. It's not, we also have a very light version of that in our prompt lab. So if you're just getting started, you need a quick lesson plan, no problem. But if you want to go more in depth, play around with Didacticus, our lesson planning GPT. That's one of my personal favorites. More than that, you can have it create a lesson plan in any language because by default it works in English, but we have teachers in non-English speaking countries using this as well and not German speaking countries, and they can just adjust the first line to have this always responding in a different language, and it does that without a problem. So that's quite neat. Another one that I think is quite popular, and you can use it also with students, is a language tutor GPT. And that one you can share through our shared spaces, which are like our virtual classrooms with students, and have them practicing foreign languages with this language tutor. That one is quite fun. I don't know, Katharina, what are some of your favorites? I think those two are mine.
Sorry. Yeah, I also am always a fan of the very specialized, very specific ones, because it really shows you that how much you can do with them. And the last time I ran this AI certification training, one of the people have to submit a project, and they also worked on assistance and built some of the GPTs themselves. And you, I'm always fascinated with what people come up with, because we plan these things and we think, oh, this might be very useful, and then you talk to people, and somebody created an assistant that helps you create models with recycled products. That is so specific. It's like, I need something that has two wheels, and I have these materials at my disposal. This is what I picked up from the recycling bin. Tell me what I can build with this. And this is such a specific use case, but it's so creative. And so there's a lot of these where people really show what they're working on and how AI can help them with that. And as Christina said, you can see the roles and the instructions, and you can build your own assistants. Anybody can go to this platform and build their own, or build on top of an existing one, because you can remix it, and then you can just adjust the prompt, and make it do what you want it to do, and you can go back and it's an iteration process, and maybe next week you have another idea of how to make this even better, and you can share it with your students, and you can work on this together. So there's just so much with these assistants that you can do. Yeah, so I think there's endless opportunities almost.
So I can come in there, and if I'm a novice, I can just take lock, stock, and barrel and do just what's there and interact with a prompt, or send it to my students. Or as I grow more comfortable and maybe take some of your courses, I can remix some of your chat bots and your tools into my own library to share into my specific need, or start from scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
there's lots of stuff I can do. So I can grow through your platform. It's not like where I come in and I'm limited. I can grow through your platform. And as AI improves and changes and grows and all that stuff, I can grow with it, and your platform's going to grow with it as well.
Yeah, that's the idea. And we always try to stay as up to date as we can. And if there's something new that people find relevant, we do our very best to include that. Like we just added some tools that do podcasts, for example. So you can work with that as well. And we also really love talking to our users. We have a very dedicated support team that you can even call them on the phone or write an email, and we actually reply. We
Right.
sometimes get surprised. It's really funny. Sometimes someone picks up the phone and the person on the other end is like, "Oh, you're not a robot." Like, no, we're actually people, and we love talking to people because we want to help educators, right? And if there's something that we're missing, we need someone to tell us. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Also, listening to people and talking to people who then have ideas. This is the same way we work with authors. Like when I reached out to you, it's not like I said, "Hey, I need somebody to do something on this topic." You're an expert. You know what's relevant. You tell me what you think we should do a course on, and that's how we get somewhere, and that's what's exciting to us as well.
That's awesome. So very, like I said before, you're very responsive to the user, because again, that's what drives traffic to your site. You mentioned to teach. Was it could you expand on that a little bit? Because that's fairly new to me. And I believe that's a fairly new partnership for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're growing together more and more. So to teach AI complements Fobizz in the way that Fobizz mostly does the AI tools and the training, and to teach has teaching materials. That's what they do. So you can have exercises, you can have worksheets. What I really love, you can get a lesson plan, including the materials already done. So you get the lesson plan and then you just click on a button that says create material and it gives you specific teaching materials that you can use for this exact lesson. And what's special about To Teach that I haven't seen anywhere else is you get a worksheet, and let's say it has roll cards on a specific topic. I think the one that starts with is reviving dinosaurs. It's just a random topic and it creates roll cards to have a discussion on this. But maybe in your class, you don't want to talk about reviving dinosaurs. You want to talk about a historical topic, or you want to talk about a political topic or something else. Or maybe you want to talk about volcano eruptions. And then you can put in volcano eruptions and it will create this worksheet in the same style, but adapted to your topic. And you can also say, oh, my students are older than this or they're younger than this. And then it basically tailors it to what you need. But the people in the background who are actual teachers created these worksheets manually, and AI is just used to adapt it to your topic. So I think that's something that works really, really well and is quite fascinating and super easy to use.
Cassini, you got something to end? It looked like you had some thoughts here.
No, I just wanted to mention that, Phobis also has teaching materials, but you just have a lot more variety with To Teach, and they include just a lot more ways of creating
Right.
it. And so they kind of take teaching materials to the next level.
So, and it's one account, I believe, right? If I can log into To Teach with my Fobizz account.
Yeah, single
Yes,
sign.
you can just exactly. You can do single sign-on because when you're logged into Phobizz, there are four tabs that you navigate through at the top, and the fourth tab is called the Partners tab. And when you go to the Partners tab, you see To Teach there, and there it's single sign-on to their platform, and there it's again, you don't need a paid account. You get quite a bit with a freemium version, and you know the count of what you do resets every month on To Teach, and it's so you can do quite a lot without actually having to pay for a paid account.
So if my listeners want to get involved with Fobizz and To Teach AI, where do they need to go? What do they need to do?
I think the easiest place to start is go to phobizz.com/en /en is important. Otherwise, by default, you will land on the German version. So then you just need to toggle to English and just click on register or create account. It takes literally 30 seconds to create an account for free, email address, password. Everything else that you tell us, it's more about for the newsletter. So if you tell us which courses you teach or how you heard about us, we're not sharing this information, we're not selling it. It's just more for us out of curiosity. And that's it. That's all you do. And you get an account, you verify your email address, and you're ready to go in just a minute.
That that sounds simple. So, as we wrap up here, is there anything that you can hint at that maybe is coming in 2025 that you know of? That's, I mean, other than my STEM GPT thing coming out, is there, anything I need to be on the lookout for coming up?
Well, we always have new things in the works, and our tech team, of course, will kill us if they find out that we're releasing top secret info. But I'm hoping that maybe they haven't heard the podcast yet,
I
and
had to
by
try.
that time it won't be top secret. But one of the things that we're focusing on are just more tools where teachers can collaborate better with each other, because teachers create a lot of things, and you can share a lot through the Fobizz platform. But we're looking to take the collaborative piece of teaching to the next level. And that's something that we're putting a lot of focus on in 2025.
That's awesome because again, I think it addresses the 21st century skills. I mean, we're already a quarter of the way through the 21st century. I can't believe it's 2025 already. And so we're looking at the creativity, the critical thinking, the collaboration, the communication. We're looking at all those skills, and these are going to get in the hands of students and teachers. That we just got to try it, right? And that's what I like too about your platform is you can try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? You just delete your little chat bot that you screwed up. So what? Right? And that's kind of like I like that mentality. I like that philosophy. Um, so if my listeners want to get in touch with you, follow you guys on social media, um, what's the best place to maybe follow Fobizz if you have I believe you have a social media presence. Obviously LinkedIn, you're there, which seems to be a growing education place right now, which is awesome. But how can I follow you guys on some social media platforms and or get in contact with some people?
So LinkedIn is always a good one. So just look up Fobizz on LinkedIn, and you'll see Fobizz being tagged in various posts from everyone from our CEO to Katharina and I, as we kind of put out new things that are happening around the Fobizz world. On social media, we have you might accidentally find our German account first, but we are
Okay.
present on both Instagram and Facebook. Um, it's just, again, for the English account, look for that EN at the end. But yes, Fobizz.com and Fobizz EN are the two handles for Instagram. I think we're also on Blue Sky
That
and
seems to
probably
be
a few other
like
platforms.
the new Twitter. Blue Sky seems to
Yes,
have a great
Yeah, so we've
yes.
heard.
has another great educational presence and a great, very very kind of grassroots like, and I like that. That's kind of your deal too, is you're working with the boots on the ground people.
Mm.
Um,
Also, you can send us an old-fashioned email if you want to. You can email us support
I'm
at
just saying,
Fobizz, or you just put our names like Ksenia or
That's
Katarina
true.
at
That's true. We can
Fobizz.com.
also support at Fobizz, or, I
right.
mean, it's very simple. Ksenia at Fobizz.com or Katharina at Fobizz.com. You will also reach us. So if that's easier to remember,
Right. And I'll put all these links in the show notes so everybody can head to your site and get some information for this. So as we wrap up here today, any final thoughts in whatever on AI, Fobizz, all the stuff you're doing?
I wish just like to take the opportunity to like first of all, obviously thank you so much for having us here. It's I'm so happy that I reached out to you and it's turned into such an amazing collaboration and I feel we're making so much progress together and I'm learning a lot and this has been really fascinating. And I also would like to say again that we are doing this next round of the free AI certification training for education starting March 18th and I would love to have more people there. It's not too much work, but it really gives a really good access and insight to get us started on this AI journey if you haven't started yet. So yeah, would just like to put that out there.
Plus, as a participant, you get free and unlimited premium access to Fobizz for the duration of the training and a month after. So
My God, you're better
it's
at
kind of a
advertising this than I am.
win-win-win there, and
Awesome.
you get a certificate of completion that you can share with your school. So there's really no downside to the free AI certification training. Just try to find the time, but again, you can figure out the hours as they best suit your busy schedule. In general, for
Right.
everybody, just check us out. We are really a flexible platform, and we want to hear from educators. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your ideas because that's sort of part of our DNA. We want to grow together. We want to really keep our ear to the ground and evolve together as the needs of educators evolve.
Outstanding. I love your platform. I love what you guys are doing. I found out some new things today about your platform that I didn't know, and I've been over there for, oh God, almost a year now, I believe, at least something like that. Um, so that's awesome. I appreciate your time today. I know, Ksenia, it's like 6 hours ahead because you're over there in Germany. And Katarina's on the West Coast, so she's early morning for this right now. So she had to get up early, and Ksenia had to stay up late to talk to me. But I appreciate your time. And so, guys, head on over to Fobizz.com and check out all the cool stuff they got.